यस्साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्र्यचित्रीकृतम् मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यपि महायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् ॐ आत्मा कः स्थूलसूक्ष्मकारणशरीरात् व्यतिरिक्तः पञ्चकोशातीतः सन् अवस्थात्रयसाक्षी सच्चिदानन्दस्वरूपः सन् यस्तिष्ठति स आत्मा. So after negating what Atma is not, what I am not, basically now what Atma is, what is the nature of Atma, without which Atma is not possible. That without the existence, Atma is just existence. Atma is consciousness. Atma is limitless. And that limitless Atma alone, being a limitless and being just a consciousness present invariably in all the situation, and therefore, and consciousness is limitless, and therefore that limitlessness also present in every situation. It may be a situation of a joy, experience of a joy, or experience of a sorrow, experience of a depression. Well, I am still a limitless Atma, just a consciousness, and definitely this limitlessness cannot come and go, and therefore it must be present in all the experiences. But only thing is, experientially, I experience myself in my own nature in moments of joy. That's what it is. And therefore, the manifest experience is happiness, and it reveals the fullness and of myself. So, just a minute, somebody came. So anyway, so the manifest experience is happiness, it reveals the fullness, that is myself. And therefore, I do not need to be made happy. That's what it means. Basically, since I am happiness, in moments of joy, what the fullness which I experience, that is just myself. Then there is no need to make me happy. And it also shows that you do not need to fulfill all your wants in order to be happy. And we were analyzing this thing also, that suppose if my all likes and dislikes or all my wants have got to be fulfilled in order to be happy, then I don't think that kind of a situation is going to come when I will be happy. If I am a wanting person, and because of all of my wants, they have to be fulfilled, then when they are fulfilled, I become a non-wanting person, I become a happy person. Then it is impossible to fulfill all my wants, and so it is logically impossible because basically to be a wanting person, a lacking person, a discomfort, having a discomfort in myself, center of the self, and at the same time happy, well, that's not possible. So you have to get rid of this all yourself as a wanting person. When can you get rid of as a wanting person? Because all you wanted, whatever you wanted, all your wants have to be fulfilled. Well, all of the wants cannot be fulfilled. Then I cannot be happy person also. I cannot be a non-wanting person also. I will ever remain a seeker. I will ever remain a wanting person. I will ever remain a limited person. And therefore, this situation looks as though there is no scope. There is no occasion there is no occasion to be happy in my life. But our wants are not just in terms of some desired objects. In fact, we want so many changes also. Whatever existing things are there, well, they are around me. In that also, I want some change. Even at a national level, also I want some change. I want the policy has to be changed. Politically, I want certain political system, I want some change. Economical system, I want a change. All the time I want. So the things which are existing also, I have a lot of want for the existing things which are around me. For that also, and there are things which I have not obtained, and so I want those objects. Any way, there is no scope to be happy, because the wanting being will remain and his all wants have to be fulfilled. Then only he becomes a non-wanting person, non-demanding person, and then he discovers himself that he is a happy person. That's not the case. But the very fact that you are able to laugh reveals that you're going to laugh heartily, even by a small joke, or you become a happy person just by seeing a lion. Just by seeing a lion. Yeah, the lion should not be in front. That's for sure. He should not meet me in the forest. But if he is in the cage, or I am in the cage, both kinds of zoos are there. I have heard both kinds of zoos are there, in which either you are caged and they are roaming around, or if they are under the certain, behind the bars, then only you can enjoy. But when you see a lion or a tiger, definitely you don't have any demand or want. Oh, he has this 2 canine teeth. Instead of that, he should have been given a 4 teeth. Like that. Then you cannot enjoy. That's all. You cannot enjoy the lion or tiger, whatever it is. But you are just seeing, and whatever it is you are enjoying. Look at the strips. You are telling to a friend, look at the strips. Look at its length. And look at the way it walks. Look at its eyes, and so whatever is there, you are enjoying. You don't have any want, even regarding these animals also, that you are able to enjoy. And therefore, without fulfilling your wants, your list of wants before you enter into a zoo were so much. Nothing you have fulfilled. You are just roaming around in the zoo. You are not doing any other thing. But yet you find yourself a happy person. Well, that shows that without fulfilling my wants, if I see myself as a happy person, then definitely it reveals that without fulfilling wants, I am a happy person. If I can see myself as a happy person without fulfilling wants, that proves that I need not fulfill all the wants in order to be a happy person. In spite of the wants are there, I am a happy person. In spite of them, I am a happy person. And so I need not become any person. In order to become a person, I need to get into the process of becoming happy. Well, that's not the case. And so when you are in fact, what we see is, altogether different thing. When you are in the process of becoming, you always remain unhappy person, because the becoming is never comes to an end. Becoming never comes to an end. Right now you have a desire that you want to become something, and you become. After that you find again that you want to become something. You reach there. Again you find you want to become something. And so if you are in a process of becoming, in order to be happy person, you can never become happy person. And when you give up the process of becoming, well, you find yourself as a happy person. And when does it occur? You give up the process of becoming, whenever you are happy. That's in the moment of joy. Well, you just drop. You have a certain agenda in your mind. You want to become manager or this or that, and you have not become yet. But somebody cracked a joke, or you see something which is really capturing, and you drop that want of becoming in order to be happy. And definitely in that moment you find yourself a happy person. So definitely I am giving up the process of becoming whenever I am happy. So I need not become anything. That's how we call, in Vedanta, this becoming is called definitely a samsara. Then becoming, because a limited being can become something. A limitless head cannot become something. And therefore, definitely in moment of joy, I see myself, I experience myself as a full being, a complete being. That's called Purna. I see myself as a Purna. And therefore, definitely then becoming cannot remain. Becoming also is centered on the self, and limitless also centered on the self, cannot be together. And therefore, definitely, when when I give up the process of becoming, especially in the moments of joy, indicates that I need not become anything in order to be happy person. That's what. And cognitively, I don't know this, that I am a complete being. I am a full. I am happiness. I am limitless. Well, I don't know that. But experientially, I find these moments in which I see myself as it is. I see myself as it is, without any boundaries, without any limitations, or without any wants, or without any lack, and therefore without any smallness. Whenever I see myself, in which I drop the smallness centered on the self, insignificance centered on the self, well, I find myself a happy person. So it proves that certain things, experientially, certain things, when they capture my attention, then I am able to drop this notion of smallness, insignificance, etc., centered on the self. If I am able to drop it, well, definitely I'm experiencing myself as a happy person. So it's not that in moment of joy only I am experiencing happiness. I'm experiencing fullness, and therefore fullness comes and goes. Well, it's not so. Fullness or limitlessness, ultimately it is. That's my nature. That is the consciousness. Consciousness is my nature, and without consciousness, no experience is possible. An experience of depression, or experience of joy, or experience of sadness, all the experiences are possible when the consciousness is there to begin with. And that consciousness is limitless, and therefore limitless is all the time, it is there. Only in the moments of joy I am able to drop the limitations, and experientially, and then I find I'm able to drop the insignificance, etc. I'm able to drop the smallness, I'm able to drop the lack, and therefore in those moments only I experience myself as it is, as I am. And as such also, I have told you, limitlessness cannot come and go. It is there, and therefore it's a question of dropping the notion of that I am a limited being. That notion has to be dropped, and Vedanta helps you to drop that notion about yourself, and then definitely you see yourself as you are. Well, that's a part of it's a cognitive change within in you. Experientially, you know yourself that you are limitless, but cognitively you should see this. Then you can definitely drop those notions forever. Well, now the moment of happiness only reveals the fact that the subject and object becomes one whole. So we sometimes use, that instead of limitlessness, sometimes use fullness or wholeness. Well, there is a reason for that, because in the moment of happiness, definitely it reveals the fact that subject and object, it becomes one whole, and this is the wholeness we call. So experience of wholeness, experience of happiness is nothing but the experience of wholeness or fullness, in terms of, because the subject and object will the division dissolves. Time being, you and the object, you the subject, the individual, and the object of happiness, well, they become one. And therefore, that particular object, let's say, let's take into let's take the experience of our joy when I get a desired object. Let's go into that. Whenever you get a desired or wanted object, definitely when you get it, then the object will not have that label now, wanted, because it is right in front of you. And then if the object is not having a label called wanted, well, then you are no more a wanting person also. So wanted division resolves. When I say subject object becomes one, means what? Subject and object division is not there. Who creates that division? Division is in terms of wanted. Well, that division drops, and therefore you feel that the particular object which you wanted has given you happiness. But actually, basically, the subject and object, as so the division between the two drops, and therefore you experience the wholeness, because the only wholeness is nothing but the subject and object, and therefore the division doesn't remain. Division means limitation. Any division indicates a limitation, and therefore basically this experientially you experience a happiness or a wholeness, because subject and object has become one. So sometimes we use that limitlessness which is experienced in moments of joy is wholeness. When we talk like this, it is always in terms of this subject-object division resolution. That's how it is called wholeness, Purnam. So you are an experience of Purnam, we call. And in the moment of happiness, so whenever I'm unhappy also, I am the whole. Wholeness cannot go. But the sense of separation is there between two things. And so when you become happy, the separation is gone. Wanted separation is gone. And therefore, any situation, that's how if you analyze our different, different experiences, you always, you want an experience in which it doesn't invoke in you a wanting being. That's a most desirable situation for you. That in which you will not be invoked by the world, by the objects, as a wanting being. If object creates in a wanting being because it itself becomes a wanted, well, then division is created. And when division is created, experientially, I am not experiencing the wholeness. Could you follow? Even though I am wholeness, but in moment of unhappiness, or in certain moments or certain situations in which I remain as a wanting being, or I am invoked as a wanting being, and the object definitely, some object will get a label of a wanted object, well, then definitely you experientially will not you will not have fullness. Or then we say, I am unhappy person. Well, basically, the fact is that you are wholeness, you are limitless, but experientially you won't have the experience of this wholeness. This is how it is. And that's how I say, generally, whenever you go to a part of the world when you definitely have no demands, you enjoy the things as they are, as I just gave you example of a wild animals, and there are many other things. Even by seeing a anaconda, you become happy. Only thing is, it should not come to you. That's all. If it is in a Chicago museum, then definitely you are able to enjoy. I saw a big anaconda, my God. But we enjoyed. Otherwise, it's a source of fear. But it is in an enclosed portion, and therefore, definitely. But Swamiji, when the same anaconda comes in front of you, why you feel unhappy and fearful? Because for want of your life. It creates a wanting being in your life, and that want is nothing but your life. So for a want of life, you have a fear and you run, and therefore definitely, this object basically should not create a wanting being from you. That's all. That's all. You always also go to a group which does not create a sense of lack within you. There are sometimes, the people go to certain groups, and then people are from a different. They have that president's club and that club and this club, and so they certain category of people they meet, and definitely you will not be invited. But in case if you are invited, you feel in terms of position you are wanted, in terms of perhaps their exposure. They have a lot of knowledge about so many subjects, because they have been exposed, definitely. And they have experience also, wide range of experience. And when they start talking in that group, you feel that in terms of knowledge you are wanted, in terms of position you are wanted, it becomes an uncomfortable situation for you. You have gone for once, next time you will definitely think that whether I should go or not. And therefore, a desirable situation for you is definitely in which a situation does not evoke a wanting being from you. And if it creates a wanting being, definitely it is undesirable for you, because by nature you are limitless. By nature you are fullness. You are limitless. And therefore any situation which creates a lack or something evokes a lack within you, you cannot tolerate it. Anyway, so this is how, when you go to the nature, a part of the nature, part of the world, well, it's object for you, but you don't have any demand towards that. You do not want the sky to be different, the birds to be different, the wild animals to be different, the sea creatures to be different, the corals to be different. Any part, this part, the object, the world, the part of the world which does not evoke in you that kind of a demand or want or anything, even for a change also, that you want to change something, even that also is not evoked, well, you are comfortable with it. That's most desirable for you. You like the people also which definitely evoke in you, which do not evoke in you a wanting being. And therefore, otherwise you become uncomfortable, because that's not your nature. Wanting being is not, the lack centered on the self is not your nature. Limitation centered on the self is not your nature, and therefore you cannot accept it. The situation which evokes such kind of thing from you becomes a undesirable situation. Anyway, so this is what I need to understand, that I am wholeness. I am limitless. Well, the limitlessness, in terms of an experience, and whenever I experience something, well, the subject, the individual will be there, object will be there. When then wanting, that division will be there, separation will be there, then definitely, experientially, I will not have fullness. When subject and object division resolves, that wanted label goes away from the object, wanting label goes away from the subject, while they become one and the same. And then it is just a wholeness. One subject and object become one and the same. And that is how then experientially that moment of joy or happiness is nothing but the wholeness centered on the self. Subject and object division is not there. Either you say object resolved in the subject resolved in the object. We call absorption. They say that's how samadhi also gives a big, samadhi gives a lot of joy. It's due to this. Samadhi also, in which the object, it has been, by Ashtanga Yoga, they have resolved, entire world they have resolved, including the mind. Even mind is not separate. The mind also, manolayaha. They call even manonashaha, vasanakshaya, etc. Whatever it is. But samadhi also is an experience. It's a very beautiful experience. We don't want, that's a different thing. But samadhi is a very beautiful experience. And we feel that samadhi is something, Swamiji, this is beyond our scope. Don't tell that. Whenever you see a cricket match and the last over is going on and it's a World Cup and India is in final, I tell you, definitely in this last over you are in samadhi. You, the seer, and the thing which you are seeing, the match, etc., are not two different things. You definitely sometimes feel that you are playing now. And this ball is coming to you and you are hitting a six. and you will win. Like that. You are sitting even in the chair, not like this very easily. You have just come near to the TV, and people are talking. You are not concerned. The time, whatever time is there, you are not concerned. You are not aware of time. You are not aware of the place. You are not aware of the objects around. That's what the samadhi is. It's absorption, total absorption. People are absorbed even in the reading sometimes. They don't know what time is. Wife comes and tells, it is 3 o'clock in the night. Please sleep. Tomorrow you will have to go to work. But that person is so absorbed in that detective story. Alfred Hitchcock. And I mean, people love things. And so subject-object division, whenever there is not, that's a wholeness. Same limitlessness is expressed in the experience as wholeness. The subject-object division is not. That is what Advaita is. That is what the Advaita is. Advaita means there is no division. There is no Dvaitam. Dvaitam means a division. Subject and object, that such division is not there. Dvaitam is not there. Well, it's a matter of a cognition. It's a matter of cognition. So Advaita is something which is people are really seeking for. What you are seeking in terms of joy or happiness is nothing but you are seeking Advaita, really speaking. The subject-object division, everyone wants subject-object division to be resolved. Therefore, you want a desired object, and therefore if you get it, then that particular object doesn't have a label of a desired. No more the desired label is there, and you are no more a desiring person. Well, then definitely you enjoy yourself, which is your nature, that is wholeness, in which the division between you and the object has resolved. Both are one and the same. Both are one and the same is a message of the Vedanta. Well, you experience that both are one and the same. You don't know both are one and the same. That's how the whole Vedanta has to teach you that. So you have an experience of Advaita, but you don't know that there is Advaita in the creation. So this is how, so whenever we talk about the wholeness, please don't imagine some kind of a wholeness, because that is you. You cannot imagine yourself. The imaginer and imagined, subject and object, both is one and the same. That is wholeness. So don't try to think some kind of a wholeness. Swamiji is talking about wholeness. So you remain separate and you try to imagine wholeness in your mind. Wholeness can never be imagined. Whatever you imagine will be not wholeness. It will be limitedness. And therefore it is just you and object, no division. That's all. That's a wholeness. So, and this wholeness, there is no other whole. We should understand that subject and object becomes, that's put together is a whole. And there is no subject and object division. That's what Vedanta is going to ultimately say. But anyway, experientially, we are talking in terms of an experience. Whenever experience is there, definitely a subject is there, experiencer is there, an object of experience is there. Well, but certain objects capture you. Maybe a desired object, maybe a non-desired object. You have not desired a lion. You have not desired a tiger. But you just come across, either in a National Geographic movie or you happen to go to a zoo, etc., whatever. So, so basically this, any object which captures you, a desired or not even desired object, when it captures you, when then object and you, both, the division between both of you just goes, and there is wholeness is there. In wholeness, both have resolved. That's what I mean. And therefore, it is just the whole all the time. All the time. That's just expressed in a certain moment, that is one thing. But this wholeness cannot go anywhere. Subject and object form the whole, that is Satchidananda, that is you, that is the message of the Vedanta. And nothing can be added in the wholeness. And therefore, happiness, the moment, the experience of an happiness is the thing in our life. I'm going to talk about it. It is the goal of the life. You don't want anything else. Because in the moment of happiness, there is fullness. Nothing can be added in fullness. Even if you add, it is fullness. Even if you take out something, it is fullness. That is how it is. In mathematics, they call limitlessness means what? Nothing can be added, nothing can be removed. No, but if I want to add, what you want to add is already included in limitlessness. But still, suppose you want to add. And therefore what you add still remains limitless. It's not that limitlessness plus what you added. It will not be there. If you remove something and it becomes limited, it is not limitless. And therefore nothing can be added, nothing can be removed. That is what the mantra says. We always chant this, Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate, etc. It indicates this thing only. Anyway, now we'll go, a few things are left over. Now we said the definition of Atma is Satchidananda Sarupaha, and also elsewhere in the Upanishad, it has been said as a Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. And therefore, this Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, there it is not Satchidananda Brahma. So basically we understand that Satyam and Sat are one thing alone, that is okay. And Chit and Jnanam are one thing, that also I can understand. But this Anantam is Ananda here. So Ananda has no other meaning except Ananta. That is what we have to understand this. I mean, Ananda is a Lakshanam. In the way we are defining Atma, we are giving a definition, Satchidananda Sarupa. But what is Atma is a Brahman, and therefore Brahman also is Ananda. You should write Ananda. Why you are writing Anantam? Or if you Anantam you want to keep it, then keep Ananda. Why are you writing Ananda, etc.? This kind of a question will be there. So we are now seeing that part. What happens in Ananda, there is a subject and an object. So when you are happy because of something, that something becomes a object. And there is subject, that is you, the Atma, the individual. The individual subject and object do not have, I of course describe, but we'll go a little further. So individual subject and that object do not have any kind of a division in terms of wanting, wanted. And then if that division is not there, that division born unhappiness also is not there. And so the presence of wanting and wanted, this kind of a division is purely at the level of thought. Purely at the level of thought. Anyway, so it is purely at the level of thought. In the already established wholeness, it is the level of the thought. Please understand this. The mind only creates aham and idam. In mind there is a vritti called aham vritti. And also, first, when you get up in the morning, the resolved mind wakes up. As it wakes up, immediately aham vritti arises. When aham vritti arises, definitely idam is going to happen. When that sense arises, then this sense also is going to arise. So basically the mind only creates its aham-idam division, and both are in a thought form only. So that division, this aham and idam, that division, and then later on a wanting being and the wanted object, that division also is basically at the level of thought. And I am fullness. In that fullness, this mind creates, the consciousness which is limitless. In that, the mind creates this division, and because of that division, definitely, when division is created, definitely I am going to feel limited. If I won't include the object in me, definitely, when I say I am, and this is, definitely you have created division. Then division is there, it's all right. Object is not going to feel a limitation. But the self-conscious being, definitely, I have excluded many things and put into the category of idam, this. Therefore, I am going to feel a sense of limitation. And then I become a wanting being, and a particular object becomes a wanted being, and that division is a source of unhappiness. This is just purely at the level of thought. And that's how in a sleep, when this division goes away, which was there in a waking state, created by the thought, created by the mind. When the mind itself resolves, both resolves. Aham and idam both resolves. At the same time, both resolves. Anyone is left over, you will not have a deep sleep. And therefore, aham and idam, both resolves, and as the mind resolves. So we should understand very well that aham idam, except that a division, I and this division, and based on that the division of wanting and wanted division is purely at the thought level. Not, it has nothing to do with the consciousness which is my nature. And in deep sleep, that consciousness which is limitless is experienced as it is, without the division of aham and idam. This is what elaborately described in Mandukya Upanishad. But I'm just telling you this, that division is just at the level of your thought. It's a mithya division, but right now let's not tell that. So I am basically a wholeness, or I am basically a consciousness which is limitless, and which is both the subject and object. When I say I am limitless, definitely object is included, but still these limitations are there because of the division, and that division is created. Not that division is not at the level at the level of a atma, but at the level of a thought. So there is even so, in a moment of unhappiness because of the division, still I am limitless. I am limitless consciousness, and that is my nature. It is never lost at any time, even in the moment of unhappiness or a depression, etc. But only thing is, in such moment of unhappiness, etc., when there is a division, etc., you will not be able to experience the fullness that is you. That's for sure. You will not be able to have that fullness, in a wanted situation or in a division. And so if cognitively, if I don't know that I am limitless consciousness, I will have to wait for the fullness or the experience of limitlessness, which is called fullness or wholeness, in a moment of joy. That's how people who are ignorant, they will have to wait for those moments of joy or moments of happiness in which they experience themselves free from limitations, free from insignificance, free from smallness, free from lack, free from discomfort. And those they have to wait for, because that's the height. That is what your real nature is. And therefore, once you set a standard for you, you cannot settle for anything less than that. That's what Pujya Swami used to tell. And so the moment of joy is something where you know your height, that you have experienced the fullness or wholeness, and that stand. So you want to always reach to that standard. Of course, if you know that I am limitless, you need not have to wait for the moments of happiness, that in order to experience happiness, you need not have to wait, because you know you are fullness or happiness, or you are limitless consciousness, invariably present, which is beyond time and space, etc. Then you don't require it, but otherwise you require it. So that's how ignorant person always seek happiness in different objects. Now, one more thing is, the question has arisen, why is Ananda mentioned if Ananta is more accurate? Basically, you see that you are limitlessness, it doesn't go away. That limitlessness only is experienced in the moment of joy, being subject and object become one, no division, and therefore there is wholeness, etc. So ultimately, Atma is a Ananta only. Why you are calling all the time Ananda? That is, so definition of Atma, in that you should put Satchit Ananta, not Satchit Ananda. So there are two reasons given by Acharyas for that. What happens is, in the experience of happiness, what obtains is the wholeness, but that wholeness is just you. And therefore, you means I. And I means this Atma, which is wholeness. And that wholeness is experienced in moment of joy. So definitely, Ananda is connected to the self or an Atma. So Ananda becomes a Lakshana for Atma. Ananda, in the definition of Atma, we include Ananda instead of a Ananta. Because in moment of Ananda only or happiness only, I experience that fullness which is nothing but myself. Therefore, in definition of Atma or the self, we, instead of Ananta or limitlessness, we say Ananda. There is no difference, but it is told like this. And the same Atma is nothing but the Brahman, and therefore in Upanishad it is told as a Anantam Brahma. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. And the second reason also is there, very beautiful reason, and that Bhagavan has told even in the 4th chapter also. See, everyone, there are varieties of the pursuits in the life. And basically, even though there are so many pursuits, goals of a human being, but one goal we say that is the common for all the human beings, and that is happiness. Everyone wants to be the happy person. I mean, wants to be happy person. You want happiness in your life. So the happiness we are seeking in every experience, you are seeking happiness because you don't know that you are happiness. Therefore, that's how the goal is. You have kept it. Any goal means which is not with you right now, and you are going to get it in future, definitely. And therefore, this happiness which you are seeking through the experience definitely is just yourself. Shastra wants to indicate that, and therefore the definition of Atma includes Ananda rather than Ananta. That's the thing. So what I am seeking in my life is myself. Then definitely, my whole attention is drawn towards myself. We generally think, if I want to be a happy person, if I want happiness in my life, even in terms of experience, I have to look out in the world. Certain objects of artha and kama, the security and kama means happiness. Well, definitely, if I acquire it, I become a happy person. I will gain happiness in terms of experience. Well, we say Atma is Ananda. Well, so in moment of joy, you are not experiencing an object as a source of joy. You are experiencing yourself as a full being, complete being. The fullness is nothing but yourself. To indicate that, word Ananda is used with the Atma in the definition, not Ananta. I hope it is clear to you, or you can think over and can raise the question later. So ultimately, everybody's goal is happiness. Then everybody's goal is just oneself, and then that gives a certain profound idea about myself. If I want happiness in my life, and that happiness is myself, what should I do then? What should I do? If other than myself, any other goal is there, I have to work upon. Definitely, I have to put efforts. Time is involved. Everything is involved. And if you are astika, then the grace of Ishvara also is involved in, so that he can give you your goals. Artho artharthi jignasu jnani cha bharatarshava, Bhagavan said. People have a goal that this pain should go. People have a goal that this particular thing should come to them, etc., etc. Jignasu has some other goal. What I am saying is, basically, 3 things are involved. If you want to gain your objects as a goal, which you have set as a goal, well, definitely you require 3 things. One is an effort. You should allow certain time, and the third thing is a grace of Ishvara. So basically, but if what I am seeking in my life is nothing but the myself, then, or it is nothing other than myself, what should I do then? Definitely I should know myself that I am happiness. That's what it is indicating. That I should know that I am happiness. Then because I am searching myself in the world, well, that's due to ignorance. That's due to ignorance, as the 10th man was searching in the surrounding area. The 10th man was searching whom? 10th man was searching 10th man. And therefore it's just due to ignorance. Same way, if happiness is myself and still I am seeking in the world, I should not seek in different goals called artha, kama, etc. More than that, I should know that I am happiness. That's so the knowledge is involved. Cognitive approach is involved. So experientially, the moments of happiness reveal that basically I am limitless or I am fullness, and that is to be known. So it is to be cognitively gained. So when Ananda is used in place of Ananta, you can see the meaning of Ananta only in the meaning of Ananda, and therefore, then the whole approach is a cognitive approach of acquiring the goal. Now the last thing is, so basically I should not, that also indicates that it is not just an experiential Ananda, it is but the Swarupa Ananda. It's my nature. So in a moment of joy, what I am getting is not just a experiential Ananda, it is it's a Ananda of which is my nature. And the difference between the two, the Swarupa Ananda and Anubhava Ananda, or that is Anubhuta Ananda means experiential joy, or experiential Ananda and Swarupa Ananda, the difference between the two is this experiential Ananda is a particular mental condition. It's a mental condition, and it is, we call it as a Vritti Visheshaha. Vritti means a thought, but a special type of thought in which a mind, this mind assumes a certain form conducive to the experience of Ananda, that is myself. So, when a mental condition becomes so conducive that the Ananda which is myself, the fullness which is myself gets expressed or manifest. Well, such a kind of a mental condition, a particular thought, well, that is called experiential Ananda. Otherwise, experiential Ananda and Swarupa Ananda, there are two kinds of Anandas. Only experiential Ananda is a conducive mental condition for the myself to manifest as it is. That is fullness. So in that Ananda, the fullness, that is experience, is very nature of Atma. And so Ananda stands for fullness or limitlessness, which is the meaning of Ananta also. So this difference between the two, experiential Ananda and Swarupa Ananda, it should be clear in our mind. Experiential Ananda, in which you experience Ananda, but that basically it's just a conducive situation in which the Atma, which is fullness, manifest as it is. So you are experiencing yourself, that is Ananda. And now all this, so we need a certain frame of mind to understand what basically I am. And so it's a cognitive approach. And when it is cognitive, you have, if it is a cognitive, if it is in terms of just knowledge, then definitely if what I am seeking is myself, well, it's then definitely it's a cognitive thing, and then I have to gain it cognitively. Karma, etc., any kind of other activity is not going to help. You have to just sit down in a lazy boy chair, take a cup of coffee and think over, and you gain the goal of the life. That's what, I'm not joking it, but it is the truth. Only thing is, you should know cognitively what you are. Therefore, many people, when they see Vedanta, they become too jealous. Because this Vedanta is sitting morning when he goes for work, this fellow is sitting outside in a balcony and reading something and or enjoying something. And in evening he comes, still that fellow is sitting in the balcony and taking a cup of coffee and in the lazy boy chair doing like that. And he feels that how can he remain happy person? Morning I went out, he was happy. Evening I come back to the home, he sees him a happy person. But because what is to be done in life is to know yourself. That's all. This fellow is searching himself in the world. How can he get it? Subject, how is it available in object? It's never available. And it's matter of fact, it's a experience of everyone. But by the time you realize, by the time sunset has come, that's the situation. By the time you realize that, well, all my efforts are really in vain to gain happiness. I have acquired everything. Physically, materially, one has acquired many things in search of happiness, in search of oneself in the objects. Well, but he knows ultimately what a comfortable self he wanted, and he has not yet got. He still is same uncomfortable being as he was in the young age. Same fellow. Now he is not able to show his discomfort. That's a different thing. A young person shows a very discomfort even at the body level. But this person is not able to do even because he has no that much strength to show. But that same agitation is still there. Anxiety is still there. Discomfort is still there. Even with all these things. At the age of 20, he has nothing. In another 50 years, he has added all the things, but the discomfort continues because subject is never available in the object. That's how Satchidananda Swarupa Atma. Atma is Ananda. You are there, your goal is Ananda. Please understand that. Before you start a car in the morning, you understand that you are going in the world to search yourself. And it's going to be in vain. But you have to earn the bread, that's a different thing. You have to earn the bread for livelihood, it's a different thing. Don't go outside just to search yourself. It will never be available. It's an object. Object can never become a subject. Subject can never become an object. That's for sure. And that is why this Ananda word is very crucial word. Many people have asked me why this Ananda is used when Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma is told, Prajnanam Brahma is told, and therefore why are you calling Ananda? But Ananda is a very significant word in terms of what I want in my life. So Shastra wants to say that what you want in your life is just yourself. Pay attention to yourself rather than jumping around. Pay attention to yourself. Sit down, take a cup of coffee and think over, and you will gain the goal of the life. What others will not gain, even with all material wealth, you will be able to gain it. That is how the Kaupina Panchakam also says that. Therefore, Kaupina Vantam Khalu Bhagyavantam. So, this, wearing just a Kaupina, this fellow is a Bhagyavantam. He is a so happy person. And other people are not. Other people with all these things, they are not that happy people. And this fellow is a happy person sitting in a lazy boy chair, very old chair. And day in and out, he keeps a whole full of coffee. Even morning, evening, afternoon, keeps drinking coffee and keeping his mind active. All the time. Shows this kind of thoughts. What I am seeking is myself. Even you and me have to really analyze this statement. What I am seeking is myself. That's how Bhagavan has told that ultimately Mama Vartma eva anuvartante manushyaha partha sarvashaha. Mama Vartma eva anuvartante. Arjuna, don't worry about it. Oh, Bhagavan, he is going in that direction, he has to come to you, and this fellow is going in that direction, he has to come to you. They have to surrender to you in order to get whatever they want to get. Let them get whatever they want, but they should surrender to you. You are able to give everything. Bhagavan says, don't worry. Mama Vartma eva anuvartante. Wherever they are going, ultimately they are taking a U-turn and coming to me only. So let them go. They want to have a chakkar. So let them have a chakkar. Let them have a chakkar. Maybe lives and lives. Several janmas. Let them. Nothing to worry. In fact, I have the whole Karma Kanda for that portion only. Through Karma Kanda, he wants varieties of the objects just for the happiness, just for the security. Well, that is the nature of the himself. The one who is seeking all this, even in the different karmas, in different rituals, well, and doing and performing with a lot of perspiration, well, ultimately, he is seeking himself. He is seeking me. Rather, Bhagavan says he is seeking me. It's one and the same. Atma is Brahman. And therefore, meaning of Brahman is limitless. That's all. The word Brahma is formed from the root Bruh. Bruh means Vruddhav, Bruhi Vruddhav, to be big. Brahman means which is the big, limitless. Well, and that is consciousness. Definitely Prajnanam Brahma. This consciousness which is Brahman is the very self. And so Bhagavan gave a solace to Arjuna. Don't worry. Let them go in whatever direction they want to go in the morning. Nothing to worry. They are just searching me only. And one day they will realize that the direction is not that. The direction is somewhere else. Well, they will realize later. Anyway, so this is how it's just a cognitive approach I am saying. And so if the question is, if that is so, it is just my nature, and I am consciousness invariably present, and that is limitless, then why do I don't know this? Well, so that is exactly is addressed by the Vedanta. Ignorance is addressed by the Vedanta. And well, then you have come to Vedanta, then don't go with this conclusion. What conclusion? Well, I have studied Swamiji a lot, Vedanta. I have studied a lot, but it did not work for me. There are people who say that. They studied so many years, Bhashyam and everything. But Vedanta did not work for me. Well, Vedanta is ready to work for you, but you have not prepared for it. That's the thing. That's how the Tattvabodha, Sadhan Chatushya Sampatti, etc. has been told. Even you equip yourself properly. For any knowledge, you have to equip properly. Different knowledge is one has to become qualified for the knowledge, and that is required. And just go back and see the qualification, and those qualifications are present or not. Even in a small degree, don't worry about it, then in total measure. Even in a small measure, if they are there, just keep pursuing, keep listening the Shastra. Keep listening. Keep listening. How long, Swamiji? Keep listening. How long, Swamiji? Keep listening. One thing. And listening, what is the problem? Take a cup of coffee, I say to you. Take a cup of coffee. Sit down in the chair, in a lazy chair, so that it will not give you pain. And drink it and think it. Drink it and listen it. But other people are working in the world, let them work. If you have already worked a lot and you have found yourself now a disgust has arisen in you that what you want in your life is still you have not achieved. Better learn. Learn from others' experience. That's smartness. That is the smartness. Don't think that you also want to undergo the same experience. If somebody falls in a pit, I should not fall in a pit. I should know that I should have clear eyes to see that the person has fallen on the way to the pit. I should not fall. Well, so that is the smartness one should have. Pariksha lokan karmachitan brahmano nirveda mayat. Pariksha. Having examined all the goals in the life, this person has got a dispassion towards that. He knows that what I want in my life is happiness. Well, it is nothing but experientially I know that I am happiness. I am fullness. Well, I have to know cognitively. What is experientially known is I want to know it now as my own nature. So even though I have a moments of unhappiness or disgust or depression or anything, I am still a wholeness. Wholeness can never go and come. Limitlessness can never go and come. It's a matter of ignorance that I don't know myself. That's how it is. And therefore, the pramana works for the person. If you are not able to see through the eyes, definitely you have to correct the eyes. Don't think the ears are going to work to see the thing. And therefore, if Vedanta does not work for you, basically a correction should occur at the level of mind. And definitely you can gain the knowledge once you are qualified. And that's the attitude, that's called Shraddha towards Pramana. Well, that's enough. And lastly, few things are there, just one or two things. We'll see tomorrow and we'll then Sthula Shariram, etc. Now the portion is very, very easy and we can go a little faster also. This is a main portion of the Vedanta, that definition of Atma. And so,
have any one question after you are finished?
Yes.
The question
Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.